the reason we did this video is because we have our field. We are fortunate to have our practice field, and that we also let the robotic community use the field. And I thought, well, why don't I do a video of our field mentor? Because a lot of time when competition come, that time we don't see them. They're kind of behind the scene.
Yep.
So I thought this would be good to get this story out.
Neat.
Yeah, so that's.
If you haven't been down to Mohawk, you got to go down there because it's amazing what this group of mentors does. This is our mentors who build the field. And they're here tonight, and that is Fred Van Scoy and Doug Graham. We always had a field for the past few years, but the past 3 years, FIRST linked up with Disney, and the fields have been like out of control. To build those fields is almost impossible. We usually go to the Suffield Shakedown. They couldn't even have it this year because they couldn't build the field parts. But guess what? Our guys did it. And I even had someone say to me today, you know your secret to your team. You have a field to practice on. And I said, that's right, we do.
My name's Doug Graham.
My name is Fred Van Scoy.
I joined 195 in the fall of 2008 when my son was asked to be on the team.
And I joined in 2011.
195. How did you know about us?
My girlfriend's son was on the team,
And what's his name?
Brandon.
My son's name is Kyle, and 2 years after he was on the team, my daughter Megan was on the team.
Yeah, I was picking him up every night.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were offered a facility to build a full-size field. So they asked if I could build one. I said, sure. That was it.
And you've been doing it ever since?
Been doing it ever since.
That was at Saucier, right?
At Sauciers, yeah.
And what year was that when you started?
2011,
So, and then now, 2017.
18.
Oh, 18. See, I'm a year behind.
Well, the season started in 2017. So
Right.
I guess
right.
I started in the 2010 season, but it was...
Right, like me.
Yeah.
I started in the 2008 season, well, 2008, but it
Yeah.
was for the 2009 season.
Yeah.
Because
Season,
right
yeah.
after the first of the year, they watched kickoff, and then they
Mm-hmm.
we were given keys to Southington High School. For years, I didn't even remember that I had them. I had the keys to Southington High School on my key ring to get in and out of the high school.
Wow.
And we had to be out of there by 9 o'clock, or actually by 10 to 9, or the alarm would go off.
No
So
way.
the janitor would come down and shoo us out because we had to clean up and get out of there because it had a motion sensor and they had an alarm system, and we had to be out by 9 o'clock. So the kids in the team today don't realize what freedom they have to continue to work. We were there till 9 o'clock, that was it. And on Saturdays, you could be there from like 8 in the morning until 9 o'clock. That alarm was set. And we couldn't override it. So we had to be out of there by 9 o'clock. And he used to drive the robot in the hall.
Jake got here yesterday at around 1 or 2 o'clock. Hasn't left. He was here all night.
Yeah, I got a picture of Monty sleeping.
Yeah, he's sleeping now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. He's been here the same time. They got here about 1 o'clock yesterday and they haven't left yet.
See, they didn't listen to us when we told them to drink more coffee. Now they're sleeping on the job. So,
And
I do remodeling for a living. So building with wood is what I do.
did someone say, hey, come and build this for us, or how did they recruit you?
Someone asked if I could build a field, and I said sure.
And how about you, Doug?
when I started, the team had just grown to the point where they were building practice field components, not an entire field, but practice field components. So I was handed a set of keys to Southington High School's wood shop, and myself and a gentleman named Bob Kowalczyk were there building components for the team so that they could practice, because all we had was the high school to practice at, and we were practicing in the halls. So we were making little pieces of it every year, game pieces. And then at one point they asked us to build a partial field up in the auxiliary gym at the high school.
Okay, do you have anything to add to that, Fred?
That was all before my time.
I love that answer. All right.
Well, we go to New Hampshire where they have the official kickoff, and we get to see the actual field. We take some measurements, we take some pictures, but you can also download a set of prints for the field. So we come back to our facility where we're allowed to build a field, and just off the prints we build a replica field of the official field.
Right, it's a combination of wood practice pieces that they give you dimensions for that aren't really 100% correct, while at the same time they do give you dimensions to the actual field should you want to build a real metal field with plexiglass and aluminum tubing. So we're able to adapt the wood framing to something real close to what the real field pieces are. When you say
Yes.
a lot of that occurs because the practice pieces they give you wood dimensions for really aren't exactly like the field pieces. They're more for you to practice on individual components, and we adapt them to be like the real field. And then we have all the dimensions, so we can build driver stations, and as you just saw outside, we put down the final tape on the floor that shows all the markings that are part of the field build also. So as of right now, that field is ready to go.
That's
Save
2018.
2018. So except for a little bit of paint, if they choose to want to do that, the field is ready to go.
Well, the fields are different every year.
Every year.
The game pieces are different every year.
Or the easiest year to build a field, or the most difficult year to build a field?
Well, the easiest year was 2010 because I wasn't here. But no,
I think Recycle Rush was the easiest one.
Yeah, Recycle
because
Rush.
all we had to do was build a divider wall for the center of the field and just a couple of components at the end around the driver stations.
Yeah.
That was really the easiest field. It probably took longer to put down the tape and the markings and
Yeah.
paint it than it did to actually make that field.
Okay, and the most difficult field to build?
Probably would be Stronghold, would be the most difficult field. That was what, 2016?
Yeah.
Is that the one where you build a tower?
The tower, the castles, and they had all the game pieces they had to go through on the field.
Each one of those had to be made, although we did get help from other teams that made components. We gave them the base, and then they built the upper part of it. I forgot the teams that helped us. There was a West Hartford team, I think it was, and Cheshire, and 558.
Okay, yeah.
They helped build a handful of pieces for us that year.
Oh, isn't that nice, huh?
Always, they're always willing to help.
Oh,
But that was really the only year we needed outside help.
Yeah, that field had a lot of different pieces. Other than that, they're fairly easy every year. There's really nothing that complicated. It's just that one had a lot of pieces that needed to be made.
I remember, was it last year when you guys were up in New Hampshire when they had the kickoff, and you saw the field and you sent a picture and you two said you quit?
Yeah.
It ended up looking more difficult than it really was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually an easy field last year.
Even though it looked difficult.
It was just frightening the first
Yeah.
time we saw it, yeah.
They're all frightening when you walk out and see it.
Right. When you see it for the first time, you're like,
Oh,
oh,
crap.
we're going to build this? And then the more you walk around, the more you look at it, it's like, this won't be that difficult. Let it sink in.
So the field is built mainly you two, mostly you two, or?
Usually it's us two. This year, past year, we had a lot more help this past year.
Yeah. A lot more parents have enjoyed it and gotten involved in it, which makes it a lot easier for us because there's more help.
Yeah, there's usually about 5 adults. Us two and usually 3 other adults help build the field.
But you two are in charge.
If you want to call it that.
I guess.
If you want to call it that.
If somebody's got to be in charge, I guess it's us.
This is your chance, your chance to promote yourself.
Right.
Ooh, another pay raise.
Another pay raise. I'll add another 0.
Okay, what else do you want me to know? Is there anything else you want me to
I
know?
think you know enough already myself, but
Yeah. Do you
I
do you
don't know when-
enjoy it?
I
Do you
have no
like
idea
it?
when I'm
Do you
gonna
love-
stop.
Do you love doing this?
oh
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, it's fun.
That's why
Why-
we're here every year. The
Why
kids
we're
are
here.
gone, we're still here.
Yeah.
And you,
Because we have fun. It's fun to
bring-
travel. It's
Yeah.
a great group of people to travel with, and
No.
about it.
It's fun. If anyone else wants to help, we're always willing to have people come down and help. We like to get the kids involved too, to have them do some painting to try to make it look a little better for other teams when they come to practice. Shows a little pride in our work, sort of thing, to make the place look like a real field as much as we can. So the kids enjoy it. They all go home with paint all over themselves. I can't believe I haven't been yelled at by a parent yet for.
why do you keep coming back year after year?
Because the pay is good. They give me a raise every year. They just add another zero on it. No, it's a lot of fun. It's amazing to see what the kids can do, and it's amazing how everything turns out. So that's why we keep coming back.
Yeah, it's fun to build something that the kids get to use, that the robotics community can use, because the field is obviously opened up for other teams to come practice and use, and it's a chance for them to get better as long as us to get better by playing on a pretty close to regulation field out there.
Yeah. Your thoughts, your feelings toward 195.
Well, I think it's a great group of kids. It's a great team. And we hope that all this effort to have a real practice field here is one of the components that's helped to make them as good as they are.
A lot of great adults too.
Yeah, a lot of great adults that really give a lot of time for the enjoyment of it. Truthfully, it's just the enjoyment of it. As we joke, right? Every year we get a raise, right? Twice as much. 2 times nothing is nothing, but we still come back to help out. And it's for the kids, and it's a little camaraderie and some apple cider donuts and coffee every Saturday morning. So.
Well, we thank you so much for all you do for Team 195. We appreciate you. Team 195 appreciates you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
It's wonderful that I can just every year rely on them. You know, they're going to build me a field.
We don't even
for
have
the
to
team.
think about it.
I don't have to say,
Yeah.
"Can you please?"
I just have to make sure there's enough money for it. If there's money, they make it happen.
Right.
And they do a great job at it too.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
That's what makes the team great. We just, a lot of people that stay even though their kids move on.
Right. Yeah.
We just stay a family,
Yeah.
I mean, all of them came to my daughter's wedding because they're part of our family,
Right.
So, been a lot of years together. A lot of years.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Now tell us again about the process of how do people know about the field? How do they come and?
Well,
It's just through years now. It's
yeah, they know we have it now, so they just contact us
Yeah, they-
directly. We used to post hours. We had this Connecticut Coalition, and it was prior to a lot of the communications that used to go out. There was a lack of communicating with a lot of mentors and a lot of lack of inter-mentor communicating between the teams. So I kind of created this online forum so that mentors could get in touch with each other. Now I think we all know each other much better, and I think that's really improved a lot. So it's just easy for them. They just got Gino's number programmed right in their phone now. So they just
Or email
or email.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a text this morning from the Team 177.
And then
they're
you
like,
just go
hey,
look at
can
your
we
schedule.
stop by tomorrow? Like, yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah, I
it's-
try to limit the amount of teams that are here
At once,
each day.
just because it's
Yeah,
can be
so
crowded. So.
Most of the time I try to stay to 3 or under, but I'll
3 or under?
yeah, sometimes it'll be 4.
Okay.
When there's 6, it's kind of hard for
That's
really
too
to
much.
do
It's
a
tight,
practice.
yeah.
I mean, if we're trying to do like a mini scrimmage, then it's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
But
we've
Right.
done up to 12. That was our max, and it was
Whoa.
really tight.
In one
yeah,
day?
in one day.
Yes, in one day.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, we had people parking. We had to get permission for down the street. There was
Yeah.
people parking at the
Wow.
commuter lot and coming in
Yeah,
because
it was
just-
crazy.
this whole place was full.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a fun day.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Oh, it's so nice of us, our team, to share the
Yeah.
field. That's so nice.
Well, there's not many teams have it, and it's so it's here, and we
The
we
first-
want everybody to
yeah.
get New England to get better. We're not all about 195. We're about New England. We especially all our Connecticut teams. We want everybody to get better, so that when we all go to championship in Detroit, that everyone's doing fabulous, and that's why we want to share it, because we
It
want
was
to
two-
bring up
I think-
everybody's
yeah, I think
gameplay.
it was 2011. I mean, we had shared our field, somewhat when we were at the high school. It was the rules were a little
Yeah.
stricter back then because it was in the school. But 2011, when we built at Sauciers for the
Sauciers.
first time,
Then we had
and
a lot of teams all
we
the
had-
time.
we were, I remember it was me, Steve, Steve Costa,
2011 was the first
Steve
time
Costa
we had
and
a
Lance. We were
scrimmage.
sitting there, and we were practicing, and we just looked at each other, and we just like, this guy from Gus walks in here, and he says, "Oh, I heard you had a field, da 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 da," and we all looked at each other, and he said, "You know what? This is really unfair to keep for just ourselves."
Oh.
And we held a little scrimmage back then, which was like about 7 or 8 teams, I think.
Might
and-
have been a few more.
Was it?
Yeah, I still
and
have
then-
the picture of that first scrimmage with all the teams,
And then
robots
we,
lined
and
up,
that's when
all
we
the kids.
finally said, you know what? This is the way we're gonna make
Yeah.
Connecticut teams better.
Yep.
Come here, and practice. I mean, it's the kind of thing where some people say, I can't believe you're making your opponents. You're giving them. You're letting them number one see your robot before it gets to a competition, and number two, you're having them practice so they can get better.
But look how many Connecticut teams now make it to Einstein, and New England teams, right?
Yeah.
Because they're all getting better. That's what we want.
Mm-hmm.
We want them all to win world level tournaments. We want them all to be on Einstein.
Right,
I think it
yeah.
actually spurred a lot of teams from making fields as well. Like I know Nuts and Bolts and Waterbury have one. It's not. It's like about a half a field. It's not a full field. Bristol, same thing. They have like a half a field. And I think this year Buzz made a whole field. So it spurred teams from noticing how much of an asset it is to have.
Right.
The challenge is you have to have that second robot. But even those that don't have the second robot will use their unbag hours to come down and practice with their robot and tweak it. And having the little shop right next door is really helpful, because when a team comes to use the field, if they need to fix their design or something, we've got all the machines right there.
Wow.
So
That's so nice. Not only they can use the field, but
Oh, yeah.
they need
Yeah.
tools and stuff. That's so awesome. Thank you so much for doing that.
Well, it's a team.
it's
Yeah.
our team.
a
It's
team.
yeah.
Yeah. And the one you said from Gus that walked in was
That was
What is Dale?
Dale Powers.
Yeah.
Oh, really? And Barry, do you know Barry?
Barry Curcio.
Well, he came in here
Yeah,
a couple
last
weeks
week.
ago. Yes. And he started saying wonderful things about Team
Barry's
195.
a great guy.
I said, wait a minute. I said, I'm doing a lot of Team 195 stories. If you have something nice to say, I need to have that recorded. Yeah, he came in here and I got,
Oh, good.
yeah, I'm working on that video right now.
Good.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, Barry's great. He
Yeah.
started with Gus,
Hmm.
and now he actually started a new team this year in Manchester. So.
Right, yeah. Yeah, he said he
Very
was with
exciting.
Gus and then Rage and then,
Yeah.
and now he's starting a new team. Yeah. Hmm. So,
Yeah, he messaged me the other day. He's like
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah.
That's all he said.
Right, yeah, it's tough
Just,
with the
yeah.
first year team because they're it's everything has got to be done from scratch. There's
Right.
no like build on what you had before.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is,
Yeah.
you know, you don't have spare parts. You don't have, you know, processes already in you know, in planned, but it's all new.
Right, yeah. Yeah, well, thank you for
Thank you.
for you coming in.
Thank you for all your work.
Yeah,
Everybody does a little,
Yeah.
you know, the
Yeah.
videos, the field,
yeah,
everything.
Yeah.
It all comes together.
right, yeah. Well, we
I remember, I'll have to put this in my memoirs. Remember the days when it was just you and me, Gino?
yeah,
Literally just
I
us,
know.
Was it just-
Lance, and that was
That's
it.
it,
We
the
just had
team,
a
huh?
handful of people, and
yeah,
we didn't do. There's a lot we couldn't do back then.
Yeah,
we didn't
I
have the
mean, we couldn't.
resources or the people, and little by little.
Chairman's wasn't really, you know, something or as a primary at the time because we just, it's, you know, you had to make a choice. You either build a robot or you do chairman.
Yeah.
Right.
we
So-
needed a robot. At least a bare
yeah.
minimum,
You
so.
actually started chairman the first year we were here, right? 2015, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I know we.
2014.
I know we
2014 was
won.
the first time we presented for
Yeah,
chairman.
2014.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we won Waterbury 2015.
15.
Yeah.
And that's the year we won the world level engineering inspiration as well.
Right. Yeah.
And Dale pushed us for that.
Dale?
Dale used to say, he goes, you know what?
Did a lot of good for our team.
Yeah, I remember
Dale
him saying, he
Powers
goes, I don't
did a
know
lot.
why you don't present for chairmans. He goes, you do
Yeah.
everything.
And they
already.
actually
Yeah.
helped us and taught us how to do it because
Right.
it's a lot. And
Yeah.
they just kind of walked us through everything and how it's done. And Dale's also the one who helped us get VEX kicked off and started and really sold us on the benefits of having the VEX program done in the fall while we're waiting for the FRC season to kick off. So he's been a tremendous help to our team. I
Tell
miss
us
Dale.
who Dale is.
Dale Powers,
Yeah.
he was one of the mentors of 228, and now he mentors 999 in Cheshire.
Okay.
And he's just been a friend of ours for a lot of years, and he had 2 kids go through the program.
He said he might
and-
come here tonight.
Oh, good. I was wondering today. I'm like, oh,
Well, he's
my
at
God.
WPI because his son is MC there at,
Yeah.
at the competition. He said he might stop in after the competition.
Good.
All
I miss
right.
him.
Yeah.